Ladies and gentlemen, just moments ago, we had a 7.4 earthquake, Ecuador, Peru, and it's very shallow. How shallow? 5 kilometers. That's really, really shallow. So this thing's probably going to do some damage. We are tracking an atmospheric river that will be heading to Northern California as what feels like the longest January in history rolls on. And the vibe right now is very emotionally, who gives a shit? And what I mean by that is like Aquarius, Pluto, Mercury, Ceres, and the Sun. Aquarius is very detached energy. Like, who gives a shit? And then Pisces is a very emotional energy. You've got Neptune, Venus, Saturn, and the moon. So it's wild out there. So if I say something because I'm too emotionally detached and hurt your feelings, I apologize ahead of time. Cupcake, all right. 20 to 30 inches of rain headed to the Blue Canyon. And then surrounding areas, we get 10 to 15 inches of rain. I ain't got to tell you that's going to cause some big problems. And I ain't got to tell you, you could even overperform from these major projections. Oklahoma legislature is trying to pass a bill requiring a license to storm chase. And it's got whether Twitter's panties in a wad or their Oklahoma where the wind chases storm chasers down the road, panties in a wad or whatever. The stock market and Bitcoin kind of took a dump on news that Trump's tariffs start tomorrow for Canada and Mexico. And then he announced that he's going to be tariffing China, the European Union, oil, gas, copper, and said that tariffs may cause short-term disruption. And he keeps quoting that like America was richest from 1870 to 1913. And so back then we didn't have taxes, we had all tariffs. I'm like, okay, sure, but less than 1% of Americans had electricity back then, man. It's kind of a weird analog. I'm just stating. I'm not criticizing anybody. You know, I don't necessarily know if it's smart nowadays when Trump and Elon have full lockdown on government to criticize them at all. So I'm just pointing out, you know, that there was like nobody had electricity back then. And it was still the Wild Wild West, pretty much. And speaking of that, okay, so, you know, for like 12 years I've been doing YouTube. You know, there are people who are just like chemtrails, 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 chemtrails all day, every day, complaining about chemtrails in the sky. And I personally have said I think chemtrails are for solar radiation management. But so, you know, and RFK Jr. said he was going to get rid of chemtrails, but you know, some people are reporting that there's still a bunch of chemtrails in the sky, and some of these people propose that the chemtrails are controlling the weather, and the chemtrails are totally poison. They're making you sick. And so my question is, making people sick, people sick, is that why didn't Trump stop the chemtrails? I mean, clearly you need a fleet of pilots out there spraying this shit nonstop. And so Trump's been in office for 11 days. You'd think the first thing he would do was sign some executive order saying, okay, Air Force, airlines, please stop spraying poison in our skies. right? Now, a lot of people who are anti chemtrail are super pro Trump. And so my question is, why, you know, why hasn't this stopped, man? If they are poison and evil and making people sick, why didn't Trump stop that shit, man? You know, sign an executive order saying stop chemtrailing or whatever. Serious fucking question, though. And at no point in time am I criticizing Trump or Elon or any other Silicon Valley billionaires, because it seems like it would be dangerous to do so. I can't criticize the truther community, though, because it seems like it's like Schrodinger's conspiracy theories, where, like, let's take, for example, they were like, Joe Biden is a vegetable. Okay. And Joe Biden is a total family criminal mastermind. Well, can't be both, man. Unless it's Schrodinger's conspiracy theory. It's got to be one of the two or something, you know? Anyhow. And now that Joe Biden's out of office, I can give my planetary defense commander grade. Give him like a C, C minus. You know, homelessness went up 18% in the United States of America last year. So why was he so focused on transgender issues and bringing over illegal immigrants and giving them a bunch of rewards and stuff, money, housing, while at the same time kind of ignoring our neediest citizens here? Anyway, you get 100 inches of snow up here. What is crazy is you had the helicopter crash into the airplane. And so, you know, it only took 2 hours for both sides to start blaming each side. Like, it's Republicans' fault. It's Democrats' fault. God, I hate that shit so much. And I gotta say, enjoy everything now. Because we're like one standard deviation away from planes falling out of the sky on a weekly basis. Seems like. I mean, you had, was it Denmark that had to shut down all their airports right after that because they're having air traffic control problems, and then Frontier Airlines yesterday had to shut down their airport. Dude, if they weaponize AI and can hack into systems like that, they can cause mass havoc, man. That is something we would like to avoid. Oh yeah, that reminds me. For a while, years, maybe even like 100 years, oil and bankers were in total control. But like over the last 20 years or so, 25, you've definitely seen technologists absolutely take over power. Without a doubt. So, to get to the roaring 2020s, all we got to do is convince all these dudes and Peter Thiel to be good and nice and fair with the general population. Then we got it made. Easy peasy. You know? They say, you know, if you want to look at who has power, follow the money. And these dudes who are almost all in tech, you know, tech controls a lot these days. They say data is the new oil. I'm not sure I believe that, just because, I mean, anyway. And here's the whole thing, like this concerned citizen guy, you know, in 2025 clown world, most people still don't see an issue. It's just clouds. Truly insane. But what the fuck can you do about it, man? That's all. I mean, at the end of the day, what control do you have to stop it? You know, people be like, I make people aware. Well, how has that helped anything? Like, you know, RFK Jr. and Trump, or they said they'd stop it. And clearly it hasn't stopped. Probably won't stop. I think it's solar radiation management. Remember, they now get paid by Silicon Valley, you know, to like, for tweets like this. So every wild conspiracy theory about everything, right or wrong, or weirder, you know, you can make money off that shit. So, like the guys who are going to be like, chemtrails every fucking day, man. I don't know. Well, I'm just saying, what can you do about it? It's like beating people over the head, you know. Anyway, probably not making a good point here. That's fine. All right. Have a wonderful weekend. Stay cool. God bless everyone.